It is now my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker this evening, Dr. Rosanne Welch. As we've said, Dr. Welch is the Executive Director of our MFA program in Television and Screenwriting in the School of Integrative Studies, and also the recipient of the 2023 Distinguished Graduate Faculty Award. Dr. Welch is an accomplished television writer, historian, and educator with credits that include Beverly Hills 90210, Picket Fences, ABC News Nightline, and Touched by an Angel. Dr. Welch's contributions to feminist studies and women's history are equally notable. She edited the award-winning book, When Women Wrote Hollywood, which was written by our inaugural MFA class, and co-edited Women in American History, a social, political, and cultural encyclopedia. Her research and writing have also explored the impact of popular culture on society, as evidenced by her book, Why the Monkeys Matter, Teenagers, Television, and American Popular Culture, and her forthcoming book, American Women's History on Film. In addition to her academic and creative work, Dr. Welch serves on the editorial boards for Written By magazine and the California Journal. She was elected to the Executive Committee of the International Screenwriting Research Network in 2019. Her contributions to the field of screenwriting research have resulted in her selection as organizing host of the International 2023 Screenwriting Research Network Conference, which will be held on the Stephens College campus in September. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Rosanne Welch to the podium.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all the degree candidates. You did it. And to all their families. You're the ones who helped them do it. So y'all needed a little applause for the families, right? I want to also welcome all of my academic colleagues here at Stephens College. I don't get to see them nearly enough because I only fly in really quickly for these events. But it's always lovely to be in their presence and have a chance to be here at Stephens College. I especially want to thank President Lynch and Dr. Willie for trusting me with the MFA because I kind of sit outside in LA by myself and do it. So it's kind of like, wow, thank you. All right, so as for what I want to say to the graduating students today, you might not think that 1970s television is a great place for me to mine or fodder some new things to say in a commencement speech. So let me tell you, not show you, right? I'll tell you why that is. Stories teach us. Science has proven to us that stories are how we learn and how we take in information. And for me, that makes the stories of our childhood some of the most important ones that we'll experience. Those stories have shown us the larger world beyond our own homes, our neighborhoods, our states, or even our own countries. The world beyond the identities that society has placed on us in the earliest years of our lives. Stories teach us what we can do, and the stories support our dreams, even if the world around us doesn't right away. So the dreams might not fit into the box that's been constructed for us, but the stories bring us into that. In her autobiography, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor talked about her impoverished childhood in New York and the fact that in her tiny black and white TV, yes, TVs used to be black and white, she watched a TV show called Perry Mason, and that's how she learned there was a thing called being a lawyer. And that was the goal she set for herself, something that no one in her family had ever achieved. And I think that worked out okay for her, right? So I thought about what female role models I found in my childhood on TV. And it's true that I watched way too much of it because I was an only child of a divorced parent. So it was me and game shows and all the sitcoms of the 70s, right? But what I saw there were women who were doing things that I didn't see in my own family. So for instance, I watched a lot of Dianne, Carol, and Julia. So I got to see a single mother taking care of her child and doing something professionally. And I watched Barbara Stanwyck on The Big Valley, so I got to see this very strong woman in the Wild West. And I watched Maude, because B. Arthur was like my role model. And from all these women, I learned that they were doing things in a way that sometimes is only classified as too feminine, right? And I think that's nonsense. I think that emphasizing empathy and understanding and collaboration are not feminine things, they're human things. And that's what I saw those people showing me on television and teaching me that those soft skills are some of the most important ones that we can foster in anyone, be they male, female, I don't care what. And so that's how I sort of learned that I could do that as I got bigger, and I learned that I wanted to tell more stories about women who could do those things. It was an interesting thing to try to get into any business as a woman some 30 years ago. My cousin, who was a lawyer, had to argue about wearing pantsuits in court because women were supposed to wear dresses. And she thought, well, this is kind of stupid. My pantsuit is more expensive than his suit, right? Seriously. And I knew some relatives who were female nurses who were dismissed by the male doctors around them, but they knew what they were talking about. So it was something to me to see that there were ways that I could show off these soft skills that I had learned as a child. So to get along in the field that I dreamed of, which was television, I had to learn to be a little louder than I was, and maybe a little less of what was described as feminine. So that's where their mod comes in handy. And sometimes I learned to swear, which I'm trying not to do in public now. That's like my new lesson for myself. Because I was told being a girl wasn't good enough, which I think is nonsense. And I'm so proud of the fact that now we see, again, empathy, understanding, collaboration. Those are the things that help all of us move forward in the world. And those are the things that the folks in the MFA have been working on. But likewise are necessary in the health world, are necessary in the counseling world. That's really what we're learning how to bring to the world and what it needs from us. So I had to think a lot about why those skills were something that I brought into the world. And it helped me by thinking about the later movies that happened and how people got to start showing those skills. So for instance, I'm sure everyone's seen Legally Blonde, was the first chance to go, oh look, she can be smart and blonde and have pink things, and it wasn't a bad idea. So I was really excited that those women and those writers were Amanda Brown, Karen McCullough, and Kirsten Smith. They brought that idea out into the world. And that's what we talk a lot about in our program. How can we bring those ideas to people? Because we do learn from watching the movies that are shown to us. So basically today, I just wanted to remind everybody they should be comfortable being fully human, right, and bringing empathy, understanding, and collaboration into the world, which reminded me of a 1970s TV show that was the biggest deal then, put together by counselors and psychiatrists for children. It was called Free to Be You and Me, and it starred Marlo Thomas and Harry Belafonte, someone we just recently lost, who made a career of being understanding and empathetic in the world. So that really, really made me go, oh yeah, we could be like that and still get things done and make other people respect us. So today, what I'm asking everyone to do as they go out into whatever their chosen fields are, is to take pride in those soft skills and to show them off to people so that eventually they'll stop calling them soft because they're the things that matter. I think when you get into those decision-making rooms, no matter what the business is that you're in, that presence that you'll bring is going to help the next generation not have to try to define these things in stupid ways and just be more human to each other, which is the ultimate goal. So I hope that as you all step out into the world now with your lovely degrees, you'll remember to be like Marlo Thomas, be like Harry Belafonte, be like Maude, but most importantly, be like you and bring that into the world. Thank you.